Oh, we are live. Welcome. Happy Mother's Day again for this evening. I wasn't planning on jumping on tonight, but came across an issue in two Linux distributions. I couldn't burn CDs. You know, CDs, a little round thing with the hole in the middle. Anyway, I think I fixed it. So I thought I would show you guys at least my fix. Maybe it'll, if you run across the same problem, it might fix it for you also. I tested this in Ubuntu Mate and Linux Mint. Cinnamon. Yeah. And it seems to work. So basically what I was trying to do is burn a playlist. You know, even newer cars today have CD players, I would think. So I wanted to burn a playlist with about 17, 18 songs with Brasero. It didn't work. And that's strange. I tried it in Linux Mint Cinnamon. Ubuntu Mate didn't work. I finally got it to work in Linux Mint Mate. So I searched and I found an answer, I think. So we'll wait for some people to jump on the stream and I'll show you what I did. Hello, Rick. Tim is in the house. Hi. Make sure your wife looks at the Lexus. I know it's far away, but sometimes a Lexus dealership will pick up the car if it needs serviced, and they'll swap cars. They'll give you a loaner car. At least that's what they did in Pittsburgh. But just a thought. Just a thought. Anselm is in the house. Hey there. It was a nice day today. It didn't rain. I thought it was going to storm today, but it did not. Anyway. I hear you, Tim. The first time I drove a Lexus, it was my cousin's car. He bought Cadillacs all his life. He calls me one day. He says, "Hey, distro, are you too late for the Brasero fix?" No, I haven't shown it yet. Jeez, he's a CD player person coming out of the closet. But no, hi DT. What was I going to say? So my cousin calls. He had to get his Cadillac serviced years ago. And he calls. He says, "Hey, Lexus came down to pick up his Cadillac. They gave him a Lexus. This is like 1990 something, maybe 1990. They gave him a loaner. DT has one in the closet. Anyway, yeah, they have concierge service. So anyway, they gave him a loaner car. They picked up the Cadillac. And anyway, they gave him a Lexus loaner. They called him up. His car is done. You can drive this car. It was the Lexus GS. I think it was the sport model, 4-door. He says, come. You can drive the car back up to Pittsburgh. So I saw the car and I'm like, gee, it's smaller than your Cadillac. It doesn't look like much. But then I remember driving it. I'm like, oh my God. I swear it was like driving a marshmallow. It was so quiet. I'll never forget, it was so quiet. There was no rattles, no, squeaky noises. I mean, it was so polished, like a polished OS. It was so quiet. I told them, listen, you need to take your Cadillac, flush it down the toilet, and buy this. That's how impressive Lexus was 20 years ago. I can imagine now. But that's just my opinion driving all kinds of cars, and I've driven them all, almost all. They're impressive. Lexus is impressive. I remember in 2000 in Florida, there was a half-hour Lexus commercial, just Lexus used cars. They popped open the hood of a car, had 100,000 miles or more. The guy took a couple ball bearings, put it on top of the Lexus engine, top of the engine, started up the car. That ball bearing did not move. Just still as a brick. Anyway, that's my thoughts about cars. Women of the 60s burned in Braseros. Ah, okay, Robert. Anyway, welcome this evening. I wasn't planning on jumping on tonight, but I had issue burning CDs, and usually don't have an issue burning CDs in Linux. Of course, I don't burn that many CDs, but I think I found an issue, and I'll share that with you here in a second. Hello, Lamer. How are you? All right, so let me do this first, and I'll do screen share, and I will show you what I did. Just one of those things, sometimes I get lucky. So give me a second here. Okay, I think I'm good. Never could figure out how to unsnap those women's brasier. Hey, you know, man, you gotta take the 2 fingers, man. You gotta put down the ludes. You can't take ludes and unsnap the brasier. It ain't gonna work. What you thinking? What you thinking, DT? You put down the ludes. You grab the woman. You grab the Brasero from the back. That start at the top, and you go snip, snip, snip. If that don't work, you just break out your pocket knife. You take out the knife, and you're good to go, man. Just don't cut the. Never mind. Yeah, well, Brasero is easy to use. It works, and it has a user-friendly GUI, so why not? Yep, Joe. Yep. Somebody mentioned it early this morning. Imagine that. You have been running 1804. Stream just went PG-13. Yeah. Pure garbage. 13. Oh, you guys started it. Don't talk to me. I need to shave tomorrow. Anyway, I got to get up tomorrow and drive my lady friend, one of my friends, to the airport. She's going back to Austria. To go see Arnold. Nah, she has family there. Good evening, Stephen. How are you? I will not be on long tonight, but DT, Joe, Tim, if you want to join me, send me an email, and we can jump on together for a little bit. Just for a little bit. I won't be on long tonight. But good evening, everyone. I can't believe how fast the beard grows, man. It's outrageous, you know? Anyway. Yeah, it was mentioned about that malware. You know, the one advantage Linux has, or Windows has, they've done very good with Windows 10 being secure. I didn't say private, I said secure and anti-malware. And that's the advantage they have, because I had the problems with Brasero. There's no such thing as anti-bug shield. There's no such thing as anti-bugware. Of course, there's plenty of antivirus shields for Windows. There's no such thing as anti-bug shield. So Windows does have an advantage. Now, of course, if you want privacy, that's a different ball game altogether. You shave every day. It's not great being that hair and having light-colored hair. You shave every 3rd day. Okay. I don't know, I try to shave at least a couple days a week, but this weekend I didn't do it, but I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, Joe. Been a long day. Yeah, I understand. Like I said, I won't be on too late tonight, so. All right, I think I got everybody in the chat. If I missed anyone, let me know. All right, hello to everyone. So, let me go ahead and share a screen, and I'll show you my fix. All right, let's get out of the tunnel vision. I can shave at 7 and need it by 8 a.m. Wow, 8 p.m. Yeah, man. It's those facial hormones. What can I say? Anyway. Okay, so this is what I did to hopefully permanently fix the issues with Brasero. I had to go into the Synaptic Package Manager and search Brasero, and I noticed, at least in Cinnamon, this Brasero-CDR kit was not installed. So you look it up, CDR kit extensions for the Brasero burning application. Duh! What's the point of installing Brasero if you don't have the add-on, the dependency, the Amigo, to help burn music to the disk? So I installed that both in Ubuntu Mate and Linux Mint Cinnamon, and it worked. I actually tried it with an old CDRW disk from 2005. A little slow, but first I formatted the CD. I think it says first I had to blank the CD, so I chose the blank option. I blanked it. I just burned a couple songs to it, played it, and it worked. So if you are having issues with Brasero, try this Brasero CDR kit. Now I did notice this Rhythmbox plugin doesn't work, which is no big deal, but that's another way to burn CDs to Rhythmbox if you get it to work. I could not get it to work, but that's no big deal. But this is it here. This is the key for me. Brasero-CDR kit. Make sure that's installed or reinstall it in case somehow it gets corrupted. And that's how you do it. That's how I did it. Yeah. A friend got a call to fix his Windows 10 computer. Yeah. You got to watch those calls. The packages are installed by default in the Ubuntu Studio. That would make sense for Ubuntu Base. For Linux Mint, I think I had to install it. But that would make sense there. Joe, yeah. But that's how I fixed it. It was just one of those things, got it working. And I fixed it. And I tested it both Linux Mint and Cinnamon, so yeah. Alright, let me send a couple links here. Give me a second. Go back and get the link. I do like Google Hangouts. You know, it's not sophisticated, but it's simple. It works. I like this a lot. You know, hats off to Google. It's a free service. So, okay, let me go send the link. All right, Tim, there's yours. And DT coming right now, sir. Alright, there you go. You should be getting it now, okay? In a few seconds here. I'll stick around a little bit longer. I think I gotta hit the airport tomorrow, drive her up around noonish so I can sleep in a little bit in the morning. So there you go. If you're trying to burn CDs in Linux, it usually is easy. And Brasero, in my opinion, has the easiest interface. K3B is good. There's more involved. Not that it's hard, but I've always liked Brasero. We used to joke back in the News and Nonsense days with Spatry saying it was good for coasters. Maybe, but this is what I tested it on. This CD right here, the CDRW from 2005. Yep, a blank CD. Top writing speed is 4. Ooh. You can see that there. Flip it over. No, it's kind of hard. It says 1, 2, and 4 by Rico. Okay. Made in Japan. Quality stuff. Multi-speed 1, 2, and 4. Anyway, I can now burn CDs again maybe one more time this year. DT,
Hey, what's up?
what's up, man?
No, not much.
So you have a CD player in the closet. I knew you had it somewhere.
Actually, I got it out just for you. It's
Oh,
an external
okay,
USB.
cool.
Yep, just
That's
in
cool.
case. Yep.
I got like a Sony portable CD player. I got a Panasonic, and I got an old one from Radio Shack, like 20 years old. That finally crapped out.
Hmm.
Of course, nowadays I use my phone, or I'll take my Microsoft Zune with me
Yep.
to play music. But yeah, sometimes in the car I have a specific playlist, and I'll just pop in a CD, and that's it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I
Yeah.
still have a CD changer in my car, so
Ah,
like 5, 6 CDs. So
cool,
I still
cool.
burn CDs to listen to in my car.
Yeah, because it is convenient.
Yeah.
My car
Well,
doesn't have Bluetooth. I think it was the year before Bluetooth came out or something, but
yeah.
it works. So why not use the CD player, right? Right. Okay, we're good there on the emails. So has anybody else had issues burning CDs? Now I don't know what happened. Tim F, your stream just went dead. I'll join you when it comes back. Okay, check your email, Tim. Yeah, I don't know what's up with K3B because that came up with a different error. I'm
Yeah,
not sure. Yeah.
K3B. Yeah, K3B has always been my go-to, and I've never had a problem with it. I mean, you install it, you really don't even need to install anything extra. I think it pulls down all the dependencies it
Does it?
needs. Yeah.
Yeah, it came up with an error. I forget what it said. I don't know if there's a snap for it. K3B.
I'm not sure on that. No.
Okay. Let me try. What would it be? Sudo snap K3B?
Yeah,
I think in the
K3B
terminal?
is the name of the program.
All
Yeah.
right, let me try it. Nah, it's
No.
not. Yeah, that's okay. XF burn is my backup. Of course, I can't write CD text to it, but it's super fast, simplest. Either we just hit burn it. You just add your files. There's no writing involved or texting involved in it. So either it works or it doesn't work.
Mm.
Fired right up. It's just one of those things. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So let me get out of Synaptic. So yeah, it's Brasero-CDR kit. That's what worked. See if Tim will jump on here.
It looks like it's already in.
There you are. There you is. How
My
are
audio-
you?
Good. Is my audio good?
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Very good.
Hey, DistroTube.
How's it going?
If it was going any better, I'd be twins.
No.
But a bump.
And my wife just shook her poor head and thought, that's all I need are two of him running around here.
Lucky her.
I
Anyway.
I don't know if she'd share that, but
I hear ya. That's what they say until the toilet doesn't work. Honey! Right?
yeah.
Or the dishwasher stops or something, right? Honey!
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm feeling good. I fixed the keyboard on my Toshiba with the little hack. The monitor still goes out, but fixed that. I'm able to burn CDs. Ooh, I'm on a roll, man.
You know,
It's
I've
like
been,
1990s all back.
I know.
It's like I can burn CDs.
you know,
Well, you know, yeah, go ahead.
I've been running 1804, just vanilla Ubuntu here the last couple of days, and for some stupid reason that I can't figure out as yet, when I start up my machine, the wireless card will automatically find all of the 2.5 or 2.4, whatever it is, gig connections, but I use a 5 gig connection generally, and it's taken anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds after I get to the desktop all the way up to like 2 minutes. And then the stream, you sent me the link and I went to join and the stream went dead. And I thought, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I restarted my machine And now this time, the 5 gig connection showed right up and jumped on one of those, and I'm here.
And you ran all the updates?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty religious with the updates.
Okay.
About the only thing I've done is with Ubuntu, I don't really like having the updates run without me seeing what is going on with the updates. So instead of this running and downloading whatever else, I have them show them to me right off the bat, just so I see what's getting updated.
This morning I was listening to the Ubuntu podcast, and they finally talked about Ubuntu 18.04. Alan Pope, Martin Wimpress, and another gentleman on the, I can't think of his name, sorry. But they were saying, Alan was saying, if you're running a previous version, you probably will not get the pop-up notice to upgrade until July when the next point release is out. And that's probably to work out some of the kinks, maybe like what you're going through, Tim. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, I forced the upgrade of Ubuntu my time. I was impatient. It went well for me. But I could have waited. There was no rush.
That's always the case on the LTS because it's mainly designed to be rock solid, stable, especially in an enterprise setting. So the LTS, you never get like 1604 is not going to be 1804 right away. They wait until 1804.1 is ready. Then you get the pop-up saying 1804.1 is ready. Then you get,
So that may be the case for you, Tim. I don't know, but
could very well be.
Yeah, and that's why some distros like Linux Mint, they release when ready, not on a date or a schedule. I think there's one more that does that.
Elementary.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Elementary is really steadfast with the whole. We're not going to release anything until it's ready to go.
Right.
Well, there's a third option too. Fedora gives release dates and they never meet them, so they kind of release when they want to too, except they give a release date.
I see in the chat, Joe. This gave me a. Yeah, you know what, Joe? Joe just said it might be a weaker signal channel from your router if you logged into your router and checked the settings or see if there's firmware updates. Joe, when this thing reared its head, the first time it did it was actually on Elementary a week and a half or so ago. And I jumped into my router, and there was a firmware update. I did the firmware update. No differences, but I haven't spent a lot of time looking at the router. Some of that stuff I kind of just leave it alone for the most part, but what the heck, it might be worth educating myself.
Well, if you're having the exact same issues in Windows and Linux, it could be the router.
Yeah.
Change channel, reset it, do sometimes haven't done, but I'll go into my Lexus router and try different channels. But I think lately I set it to automatic. But they say sometimes going in and tweaking, if you know what you're doing, might help. But if it's only happening in Linux and not in Windows, you're probably going to have to wait for some form of an update. That's my guess. But generally speaking, routers lately I haven't had an issue. I actually have two routers going on at the same time. The one from Comcast, which is horrible in general, and the Linksys one, which is actually an old cheap one, works better than the one from Comcast. Now, I did get a friendly notice last month from Comcast. Hey, we noticed you're on the older router. I forget which version. We'll send you a new one for your charge or send back the old one. Well, I rent theirs. I probably shouldn't. I could save myself $10 a month, but I like their service, so I'm willing to pay. All right. So I got the new one. Now this one's got the built-in phone line. I have like the triple play special with Comcast, phone, TV, and router, and like internet. And it has a built-in battery backup. Here we got, trees everywhere. Power goes out. So I got the new one, and it's missing the battery. Called them up. Nice lady answered. Oh no, they don't come with batteries, even though it takes one. It's optional, but it takes one. They said it's $40. I said, wait a minute. I've been with you guys for years. I pay you guys, not her, but the company, $10 a month when I don't have to get the service, so I don't have to worry about these things. She couldn't help me. I didn't want to go up to the next level. I said, thank you for your time. So I took the new router. I stuck it back in the box they sent me, went down to UPS and dropped it off. I'll keep the one I have with the battery backup. If I pay for service, I expect to get it. If I don't, no thank you. But that's just me, you know. But that kind of hit me the wrong way, you know. But I guess it's all part of doing business. I don't know. You've got Comcast where you live, Tim?
Xfinity, yeah.
Yeah, I get the same.
Is it reliable?
Yeah, it's rock solid.
Yeah.
The only problem that we have is we're in an area. We're outside of a college town. We're actually in a suburb, I guess, so more or less of a college town. College town has great service now. Of course, they have to with all the kids going to school and all the infrastructure they have around the schools. And they're starting to lay lines out where we are to get up to the advertised, I think, 40 meg service. So the service is reliable. Problem is that my hours are kind of all over the place, and I'll be up horsing around or watching you guys, watching your guys' videos at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, they're out and they're doing the cable upgrades, and they'll take stuff down at like 2, 3 in the morning when they're doing stuff, and it's like, oh crap, it's in the middle of a video. But during the day, yeah, it's reliable.
Yeah, I mean, except for the storms here, sometimes it knocks out the power. They've been reliable. I mean, they're not cheap. I mean, they're not. I could have got a better deal with AT&T. I could have got their package with the satellite and everything, but I don't think I could live stream with DSL. At least not like this smooth. I don't think you can.
I don't think you'd even get close.
Even at the highest speeds. I mean, I know I can watch videos, upload, but to do this, I don't unless they have the fiber, I guess fiber optic cables might work. I don't know. Anyway, I stuck with Comcast. It's more money, but I know it works. So, and I don't even have their highest, fastest speed. I got something in the middle. I forget what they call it, but it works. So,
yeah, keep what works. If you have to pay a little bit more money, reliability.
Right. Yeah,
especially when you sit down to do something like this.
Yeah, this would have been awful if it kept on buffering. So, but yeah, I mean, right now, besides cable, I don't think satellite's fast enough. I don't think.
No, none of it's. There's no good alternative right now.
It seems that you would think in 2018 there would be more than one choice, but evidently not.
Isn't Google supposed to be doing something infrastructure-wise for some type of ISP or internet delivery? Aren't they doing that in some? They're testing it in some towns
out west somewhere. I did hear that. I think they could just call it Google Fiber, right? Something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all I need. That's all I need is Google to be my ISP. That's.
Oh man!
How bad does that? I mean, that sounds horrible.
Yeah,
when you think about that.
You have to have six ad blockers on one browser.
Wow.
So you think Comcast isn't like watching?
Yeah, but I mean, Google, they have so much of our information as it is.
Yeah. For me, it's one of those deals where before I really got privy, I guess, to all the privacy stuff, I always knew Windows was looking at you and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I got a Gmail account when I was doing some work for some folks, and I just kept it. And
yeah,
for me, I understand a lot of the stuff that's out there. I've watched a lot of Switch to Linux videos, and for me, it's kind of the type of deal is, yeah, I want privacy, but if they want to look at something, so be it. If they want to read my stupid emails, I'm not too concerned about that stuff. For me, it's 100% a convenience factor. 100%.
That's what as I've gotten older, it all comes down to convenience and what is worth my time and what is a waste of my time. I don't have a YouTube channel or the Total OS Today channel on Facebook. Mainly personal, family, friends, back and forth, like local stuff, happenings, pictures. I don't have an official Toss Today page, but I may start one up on DT Diaspora. Is that right? Diaspora. Yeah. So I may start something on that. But I would have to agree, Tim. To me, it comes down to convenience. You want to know what's in my? I mean, if you guys out there in sneaky land or whatever have no life and have to look at emails, be my guest. But it all comes down to convenience. Now that doesn't mean I don't want privacy, of course.
Yeah, very true.
But I've been on the web now a long time. I can't take it all back. You cannot erase yourself from the web. You really can't. Me and Switch did a special show one night. You can take steps to make yourself a little more private, but can you erase yourself on the web? We came to the conclusion it's probably impossible.
Yeah. Well, that's like I requested Facebook delete my account and Twitter to delete my account, but everything I posted on those sites, even if they delete it, it's still going to live somewhere on the internet. Yeah, somebody's already scraped that information. I mean, somebody has it.
Well, when I deleted my Patreon account last December, somebody said there's still like a bunch of my links on there. Now, I may go back. I talked about it briefly this morning. Tim knows, but still my links are on there. I guess in a way that's good. I'm still around if people want to go on Patreon, but are you really deleted? I don't think so. I really don't. There's just too much of a business marketing aspect of it. I guess it's big money. I read somewhere there between 3,000 and 4,000 data mining sharing companies. That's amazing.
Yeah, big money. Yeah, because that's right. All the advertising dollars. I mean, it's all about can they serve you better ads so you're more likely to buy whatever they're selling.
They're looking for patterns. They're looking for what do you like? What do you don't like?
I had a Twitter account, and on Twitter on the timeline you get the ads that or the promoted tweets, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
I got sick of seeing some of those things, so I'd just go in and I'd block it. I'd block, healthcare companies or you name it. And I think I had like 600 blocked accounts in my profile. And then I went to log into my profile and I used two-factor authentication for my Gmail and Twitter. And I went to log in and it wouldn't send me a text with I actually distro hopped, went to go back onto Twitter and logged in and it said, okay, we're going to send you a text. Well, I'm sitting here on my telephone for, how long? Never got a text. Couldn't get into my stupid account. Finally, a day and a half later, I got an email asking me for verification, and I got back into it, and it's like, this just doesn't seem right to me. So I just said the heck with it, and I deleted the account. I waited for like 3-4 days and created a new account, used a different email address and a different username, and all seemed to be fine. But you kind of wonder, you go and block like 600 advertisers. That's got to put a dent. If I'm not the only one doing it, it's got to put a dent in their revenue in one way or another.
No, I think companies take notice. Last fall, when Patreon wanted to change the way they take pledges, I didn't like it. I was upset. A lot of people were upset, and I deleted the account. I said, "This is bogus. It's not right." I mean, if you pledge $1, I think they wanted to charge you $1.33. So no, if you pledge $1, it's $1. Then they take their cut, just like PayPal takes its cut or GoFundMe or whatever. Well, I deleted my account. I was like DT. This is baloney. Well, I guess I jumped the gun, as it were, because a week later, seriously, not even a week, I got an email. We heard you. We're not going to do that. We'll just keep it the way it is. We value it, because apparently a lot of people like myself were deleting those accounts and they saw revenue drop.
Yep.
That's my guess. I could be wrong. Well, I never went back because I'm not going to play this game. But, I mean, I may go back. But yeah, if there's enough of the masses joining to do something that's counterproductive to a company, they have to take notice. If they don't, they'll die.
Yep.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
If you don't keep your customers happy, somebody else will. I mean, it's a hard.
It made me laugh because they said, "Oh no, Toss Today is gone. What are we going to do?" It made me laugh. I never went back because I told people, "Look, if you want to support, just go to Pay. It works the same. You can either do one-time donation or monthly. Now, there's no rewards or updates or nothing, But it made me laugh, and I said, "Nah, I'm not going to go back this time." But so that's where we're at. But yeah, it's funny. Tonight I was talking how I fixed Brasero, how to record your music, burn and record your music on your disc. I think we are all being recorded 24 hours a day, even when we sleep, because our data, our info stays on the web 24/7. That's being recorded.
And it's like Mark Zuckerberg, putting the tape over his webcam because apparently he knows more about what goes on than we do. I mean, should I be doing something with my webcam at night?
It's kind of ironic, a company that makes its living and not being private, he wanted to cover his webcam like that would fix everything.
Well, he knows what they do, so he's assuming everybody else is doing it to him too. So
Right. Webcams can be hacked. There's no question.
Oh, absolutely.
Cell phone cameras can be hacked.
I mean, let's be honest. Does anybody here think the NSA or any of those government agencies can't see what's going on through my webcam right now if they wanted to?
Yep.
They definitely have that technology.
I read an article not too long ago, but I have I have a USB mouse. It's got one of these little dongles.
Yes.
And I read an article, I can't remember how long ago it was recent, but people are able to get into your PC through one of these, whether it's for a mouse or a keyboard.
Yeah. It's always been kind of a vulnerability, USB dongles,
Yeah. For me, it was just like, wow, I never knew that. Now I never bring a laptop into a coffee shop.
Well, it's another connection into your computer. It's another way in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gregory says, I covered my webcam and I burned the other one. Okay. It's a bit drastic, but sure, that'll work.
And the NSA probably knows you did that.
Yeah, that's right. So there was probably one guy say, hey, why did he burn his camera? Hey, that's not good.
Yeah, now there's a black van outside his house.
Yeah, the arson investigation.
There'll be a guy with the dark shades, I know, and the dark suits and the Ford Crown Victoria sitting outside in black, kind of like the X-Files, yeah.
I mean, just think about everything that's connected, to your computer right now. Think about the mic on your laptop or, mic here on my desktop. They can listen to you. They can see you. They can do anything they want with you. And Facebook and Google are the same way.
For me, it's kind of always been the deal. I live a pretty clean life.
Yeah.
If I happen to leave my laptop lid open and I don't shut my machine down, which I'm usually pretty good about, if they want to see me get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and walk from the bed to the bathroom in my underwear and then grab a drink of water out of the fridge, you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually less concerned about the stuff I do in my home. It's really mobile. The stuff you say on your phone in conversation, who's listening to that stuff?
Yep.
I cracked a joke some time ago, something to the effect, if I knew that Facebook or the NSA was listening in or watching me on my webcam or on my cell phone, I would like to know what day and when they would do, because then the night before I would go out and eat like 12 cans of beans, 6 fiber bars, and just walk around the house with with the salads, take that and just might as well entertain them, but
very funny thing happened to my dad. Kind of related to the same thing. He traveled a lot for the position he was in.
Yeah.
And this was after 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in an airport. I want to say it could have been Denver.
Okay.
And he was sitting there on his cell phone and he was talking to his wife, and his wife said, when are you going to be in? Stuff like that. My dad said, well, the plane is late. And my dad made a comment, a joke, a very lighthearted comment, and he said the word terrorist in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He got off of his phone, and the best way he could explain it is, when he walked down a concourse in the airport, there's all these doors, and you don't really quite know where they go to. Like 2 or 3 of those opened up, and he had 3 or 4 guys standing around him. So we'd like to talk to you, sir. And he found out where those doors went. And he just said, making a lighthearted joke to my wife, nothing ill meant by it. And he wasn't being insensitive to the whole the whole situation as it was. But yeah, it kind of woke him up a little bit. And after that, after he retired, he needed to get a cell phone. And he said, I'm not going to one of the providers. I'm not going to go and get a contract. I'm not going to do any of this. He went to Walmart and he got a track phone.
Okay.
Yep. and he goes and buys minutes in cash and reloads it that way.
That's one way to do it, absolutely. But still, I wonder if even TracFone is completely secure. Probably not.
Probably no way to get away from the phone situation.
Yeah.
There isn't.
There used to be a show 5 years ago with Jesse Ventura called Off the Grid, where he was transmitting off the grid. He was living in Mexico because he felt more comfortable in Mexico. Well, he's an ex-Navy SEAL sniper, so nothing scares him. But he was living off the grid. He had solar panels for power, supposedly. And he was doing his weekly show or daily show off the grid, talk about politics in general and stuff. But he was trying to be as private as possible. Well, I guess if you know what you're doing, because he had a show on the web, well, there goes the privacy, right?
There's the privacy.
Yeah. But, I mean, he was on the right track in a way, but truly to be private, don't get on the web, period. None at all. It's not realistic because the web is a convenience. You go shopping, you buy tickets, talk
do
to family,
things like this.
Do this, solve a problem, donate to a church. I mean, it's not all bad. The human condition for people to connect is how we're made.
Yeah.
It's the dark side of the force, the human condition, that almost destroys the good. But I suppose to appreciate the good, you have to understand the evil.
Yep.
I don't like it, but that's what it is. But you're right. If it wasn't for the web, we would not be doing this.
Yep. It's like I said when we were on the other night, there's, I think we were talking about communities and whatnot. The same thing kind of holds true. I tend to believe there's only 9 or 10 really mean, awful people in the world that just move around a lot. The same thing goes for the wrongdoers with the internet. Because let's face it, it's not the masses that are out there doing this type of stuff like the Equifax breach and all that stuff. We're talking about a 0.000, God knows how many zeros, and then 1% of the populations doing it. But with that little bit, it does cause people pain in their life. That's for sure.
There's no getting away from the internet either. I mean, nobody's going to unplug. I mean, eventually you got to update your Linux install. And then when it breaks, I got to go to the Arch forums or wherever. I got to ask think about how much the internet is part of your life. I mean, everything you do is in some way.
Think of all the information that's out there. Just for Linux, I believe there's a total of, in general, 40 to 50,000 apps just for distros. That's amazing. I'm not saying they all work or all good, but still.
Yeah.
And how many apps for Android and iPhone combined? 1 million?
Yeah. Think about all the people that develop those apps and then host them on, Git repositories. That's all done on the internet. All the uploading.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So it's the brave new world is here, and it ain't going away.
It is what it is. Yeah.
It's up to people to realize, hey man, that there's good and bad out there. I mean, my dad has it right. He's in Italy. He's got a little place by the ocean. He's retired. No computers. Period. I think one TV and a little TracFone smartphone, and that's it. That's all he got. He doesn't want to hear about the rest of it. I'm like, okay, all right. I'll do the work, Pop, But that's a smart way to do it when you think about it. But it was a different time with him. He grew up during World War II. It was a different, thing back then. This is all foreign to him, But sometimes I think maybe that's better. So they're in Italy, they'll call on the phone, but when they connect, they'll call. They'll meet outside. They go at the local bar. They'll meet downtown at the ocean, walking, like it used to be. Imagine that,
Yep.
Sometimes back then as a kid, sometimes they would whistle across the hills of the mountains, code or something, But that's how it was done,
And probably the least stressed of the three of us and your father, we know who that is.
Yeah. Well, he's stressed now because of his movie project, but putting that aside, absolutely. Technology-wise, well, I think I told you the story when he called me last October. He wanted me to fly to Italy to help him do corrections on the script, the subtitles. I said, Pop, I could, but have you heard of email? Just send me the script in an email. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a computer. I'll go to, I forget where he went, some Photoshop business owner that he knows, and he sent me the email. It was a file of a script. You know, I read the script. I called him. Okay, well, let's go page by page by page. Surgery with words. The best way to describe adjusting a script or a novel. Surgery. That's what we did, and less than a week it was done.
And you were creating English subtitles from the Italian.
Well, what had happened? Some of it, but what had happened? He had actually sent me the whole script was in English that was translated by somebody over there, but he was asking, does it make sense from Italian? Is the grammar, is the spelling right? Because sometimes the translation, you can get lost in translation. You know what I mean? Yep. So it was best that he didn't send me the Italian portion. Number one, my Italian isn't fluent. Number two, maybe my translation may not be what he meant the story to be. You know what I mean? So he sent me the one in English, and then, well, this is what it was in Italian. This is what we translated. I'm like, well, I think it sounds better this way. There was one scene I wish they didn't change. And I guess I can tell you guys without spoiling anything. But there's a scene in the church where the Catholic priest gets a visit by a young man from Israel. And he's about to lay this bombshell on this Catholic priest. And he's saying, I thought long and hard about coming to see you, Father Baldi, whatever his name, but Don Giulio. Father Giulio says, and now the young man says, I don't mean to mess up your life. I would have preferred, I don't mean to scorn your life, because he's a man of God. But they left it in there, I don't mean to mess up your life. It works, but to me, not saying I don't mean to scorn your life would have been a little more emotional. Just the little things, you know. And then the young man proceeds to say, well, I found this diary of your father who's Jewish. And the Catholic priest says, you're mistaken. My father is so-and-so. He's Italian. I'm not Jewish. Anyway, that's how the story goes, you know. He was a forgotten child of the Holocaust. But little translations like that, I suppose in the long run, probably don't make or break a story, you know. But the point I was getting at, I got the scripted email. I read it. It made sense. And we went from there, you know. But you're right, Tim. Put a technology aside. He has it made.
Yep.
At least technology. You know, he's got a simple car. Because there they go. The price is by liter. It isn't by gallons. You know.
Yep.
So you probably won't see too many Hummers or Cadillacs over there. You know. At least
Citrons.
not as. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Even conversing by email, you know, is a really nice change from the way people do it now with things like Facebook Messenger and, you know, all this other stuff, Snapchat and FaceTime and, you know.
Right.
I've gotten to the point now, you know, now that I've deleted all my social media accounts, I just give out an email address on some of my videos. I just, you know, converse with the viewers through email. You know, I check my email once a day, you know, and I respond instead of being bombarded with notifications every 2 minutes. You know, somebody just sent me a tweet, and then you're compelled right then to respond because you got the notification. No, when I get home in the evening, I check my email, and that's when I take care of that. So
it can be overwhelming.
Yeah,
you know, I try to respond to every single comment. That's a lot. Sometimes I miss it, so I tell you guys here, if it's something important that you want me to answer, or in private, just send it again and let me know. Because it's possible I may miss it. Now, the people who pledge support to the channel, I do reply to every single one by email. Unless they do it here, then I'll just tell them here, thank you.
But email, you can take your time, write whatever you want to write. You can think about how you're responding. It's not limited to 512 characters or whatever. You know, it's just so much better.
I remember those days. You got mail.
You can turn around and walk away from it. Think about what it is you're gonna try to say. You know, anything we do electronically lacks any ability to have any emotion in it.
Right.
So at least then you're able to think about it. You walk away from it, but
that's another thing with social media now. Hanging out with you guys here in this hangout chat, I can actually see you guys, talk to you guys. I mean, I feel like I know you guys. Facebook, these people that have thousands of Facebook friends that aren't even their real friends. They've never met these people. They've never had a phone conversation with them. They never met them in real life. These are not real friends. They're pixels on a screen. That's all they are. And some people really believe that these people are actual friends.
Well,
and it scares me.
Wait until moving day. Yeah. Wait until moving day and see how many of you 600 friends on Facebook.
They're not going to help you move that couch.
Can't do it. I have to go to the toenail shop. I got an ingrown toenail. Sorry. No, but yeah. Well, again, it's the human condition. It's that sense of the need to be part of something, even if it's pixels. What was the book or the guy said? No man is an island. It's true.
Yep.
But that being said, I've always said before that if you're not sure, be careful what you post on the internet. Be careful what you write, respond to, comment. I look at it this way. If it's something that you have to think about, the answer usually is no, don't send it.
Don't send it.
No. Don't send it. If your gut tells you, or your instincts, then don't do it. No harm done. Then think about it. Then if you send it later, fine, or tweak it, then go that route. That's why on Facebook I post nothing unless it's in private. Nothing on religion or politics. I don't go there. Yep. They're in public. But in private, sure, friends joking this and that, But yeah.
Part of the convenience factor for me is, Derek, you got rid of all of your social media accounts. For me, I think we were talking about this the other night. I like watching the news. I stay up on the financials throughout the day. But for me, sitting down there and having Fox or CNN or something on in the background, watching the news all day it would just depress me beyond all belief. So a good thing for Twitter for me is to be able to catch up on headlines, just to see what the heck's going on in the world.
Steve,
a lot of it's garbage.
Yeah.
But,
that's why I don't watch much TV. In fact, tonight I was going to jump on Ancient Aliens, but I'm doing this.
I haven't watched TV in months. I haven't turned on a TV in forever.
Certain channels I watch. I was going to say, Steve Gunnick says, only thing I appreciate AOL for is I met my wife on it late 1999. Well, that's nice. So, see, that's the good side of it. You never know. So I guess you met in the chat or something, Steve. But anyway, I think that's awesome. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Something good can come out of the internet. It is a tool. So.
Yep. Just some of the jerks that use it.
Yeah,
of course there's a flip side. That same year in 1999, somebody else also met their wife, and it wasn't a good experience. So
I just realized what AOL stands for: Always On Ladies.
Yeah.
Well, now that, of course, they got these dating sites and everything, which I don't mess with personally. But maybe it can work for someone. Who knows? I see commercials for Harmony and the other one, and they're happy. And maybe it works for them. I don't know. Personally, I like to meet people through friends of a friend or people.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's the normal way. I mean, meet people at church or whatever you get together as family things, friend of a friend, or even just go to a club or a lounge or something.
Not that it's advisable, but you know what? I married my former boss.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I don't condone it, and I'm not saying it's a good move, but you know what? It was just one of those things, and we got to the point where we could look at each other and we could kind of say, "Yeah, you know what? Me too," without the other one saying something, and it works.
Whatever works. That's the bottom line.
Whatever works.
Whatever works.
It's one of my taglines. I say it all the time. Use whatever works.
Especially with operating systems.
Yep.
Well, the most important OS is you. So there you go. Yeah. Use what works.
Staying straight.
Gregory says, try dating site. Didn't have any luck. Have you tried the big dating sites, Gregory? Or because Harmony, was it eHarmony, I think it's called? Seems nice. There's even Christian dating.
Oh, there's a million of them out there.
Something for seniors. I wonder what the hit rate. I wonder what the success rate is.
No.
I don't know.
I don't. You would think. I think one of those, like eHarmony,
Yeah.
if they're publicly held, they've got to. They would have to disclose their success rate. I wonder if any of them were stupid enough to go publicly held.
You would think their success rate would have to be at least 50% to stay in business. I don't know. I mean, if it was only 1%, could they survive?
Well, if you get a bunch of people that subscribe and they only subscribe for a month and say, you know what, this is junk. There's, they have that revolving door. That would be interesting, understanding how much of their revenue is based on
how does that work? Right.
What's their revolving door?
Right. I don't know. And I see the commercials all the time. And some of them are kind of funny, when it's like a blind date and the guy or the girl's going, oh my God, really? It could happen. I've only been on 2 blind dates in my life, and they didn't go bad, but they were like unpredictable.
Yeah, I've only been on a couple, many years ago. But yeah, both of them, it's just awkward when you meet somebody that you have never met before, you don't know anything about, and whoever set you up, they lied. They told you that this person was like the most wonderful person. Something's wrong with them if they set you up on a blind date.
Well, the first one was a friend of a friend years ago.
Yeah.
And we met at a local restaurant bar here, and she was actually nice. If it's the one I'm thinking of, she was nice, friendly. I forget her name now, but she didn't. I remember I did like 90% of the talking, and she was polite and smiled. I thought to myself, she's not really communicating, so there's probably nothing there. So I let it go. No big deal. Look, I was born in New York. I can talk all freaking day, So I let it go. Then my friend called, who set me up. He called me a week later. He says, I just spoke to, her. And what'd she say? And he says, what did you do to her? It's nothing. I swear nothing. What happened? No. He says she can't stop talking about you. Really? It's funny, she was talking afterwards, but not during. Now, maybe she was just shy and, but sometimes you might get the wrong signal or mixed signal, But I can't say it was, a disaster, and it was just unusual. But it can be awkward, But if something's awkward, crack a joke.
Yep. Hey, Derek,
make it light, yeah.
Derek, you see Toss right now?
Mm-hmm.
I see another channel coming. Total Dating Today.
Yeah.
I like that. Total Dating Today.
But you could branch out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but that means I would have to go out and experiment on what works and don't work. I don't think I'm ready for that. Hey guys, this line works or this line works.
Bringing open source nerds together.
Linux Harmony. There you go.
Linux Harmony. There we go.
Or GNU/Linux Harmony.
I could post that. Any Linux girls out there, come talk to me. Hey.
You know what? You need to... Coding Commander, I forgot her name.
Candy? Is it Candy?
Yeah. We'd have to get Candy to weigh in on this.
Yes, she could be the supervisor because she's got it down pat. I'm
kind of thinking your chief marketing officer.
You really? Yeah. Well, she can do all the coding.
There you go.
But
have her in the commercial.
Kagan says Total West they would have to lady hop constantly.
Oh boy.
Okay, demonetized. Thank you, Kagan.
Are we staying PG tonight or?
Yeah, that's PG. We haven't crossed the threshold. We're right there.
Can I take 1 second? Keegan the Tennessean. I've conversed with him on chat before. Keegan is I don't believe he is active military right now. I believe that I think he's honorably discharged. I'll let him say. I just wanted to say publicly, thank you for your service.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Let's see here. Steve says, as far as meeting my wife goes, neither of us were really looking for someone. It was sort of a fluke. I think we talked about it for 6 months before we decided to buy. 6 months. That's a long time nowadays.
It is.
Now it's like the text, I'll meet you yesterday. If not, I can't. That's what it seems to be. But
I'm still thinking about this whole lady hop situation. I mean, when it stops functioning correctly, I mean, what, you just nuke and pave and.
No, there's a blue key on your keyboard. It's in the shape of a triangle.
I guess when you see enough bugs, you walk away. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know, man. But I think it was Keegan. One night I was talking and movies and stuff, and he called me the distro father. Like the call. Yeah, Sonny's the distro father. Okay. Oh man. I just want to say, oh yeah, Flamer, we can give Toss a like on the live stream. Yes, why don't you? Don't make me call Sicily, okay? Give me a like. See what I'm saying? Grow relationships slow and they will last a long time.
Yeah.
Good piece of advice, Steve.
Everybody thumbs up the stream, yeah.
Yeah, man, come on, All
that
three.
Stuff, that stuff helps too. I know we don't discuss it that often. I never really ask for likes or shares or subscribes, but that stuff actually matters in the YouTube algorithms. More people will find Toss's channel, the more thumbs
it does in the long run. It's all part of the science behind it. Yeah, I don't talk about it because I think it's boring personally.
It's all
but
part
that's
of
true. Yeah,
what goes into the Google algorithms and YouTube algorithms.
Thank you, Lamer. Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to DT, what are you waiting for? Tim, do you have a channel? You just
No,
Okay.
I was thinking of installing Elementary on a iMac 27-inch, maybe doing a video on it.
Okay.
But I watch what you guys go through. I wouldn't have to do it. I wouldn't have to do it from the aspect of trying to make a living for it or anything. But there's a lot of time and commitment that goes into this. We're almost at midnight where Toss is. Derek and I. Derek, you're Central Time, so we're creeping up on 11 o'clock. You guys do a killer job at this, and you know what? There's a lot of really good people out there. Not just you guys. Switch to Linux. A lot of there's so many that I subscribe to.
And what's crazy is, Toss. My stream went an hour. I quit when you started, so I could join you.
Yeah.
You've been going an hour, and we actually we don't have to edit any video we do live.
No,
but
which is good.
Yeah, which saves a ton of time. But the usual stuff I do that I pre-record and have to go back and render video. Man, you're right. It can take hours to put together some of these.
I used to do that, and I'm like, that's just not worth it anymore. It's
Derek, Derek, you hold down a full-time gig outside of this, right?
Yeah. I work. Couple of different things outside of this. I have very little. That's why I mentioned I haven't turned on a TV in months. I just don't have time.
I don't watch that much TV. I'll watch like History Channel, all going on demand, National Geographic, anything that will expand my mind.
Yeah, I like educational stuff. Yeah,
stuff like that where I don't feel I'm being stupefied or dumbified, as it were.
I'm the same thing with books. I quit reading fiction a couple years ago. I don't like.
It's okay. I like
nonfiction. I like
I was gonna say for YouTube, it's a great time for content consumers. You got so many choices, good choices.
You got a lot of folks out there now. Yeah,
a lot of choice, especially Linux. When I did this, when I started Linux in 06, Linux was fairly unknown. It was like from another planet. And even in 2010, it wasn't that expanded, exploded as it is now. And that's what got me curious.
But you want to talk about a guy that does it full time, and even he, has, he tries to save as much time as he can in what he does. Brian Lundu.
Yeah.
He does 4 shows, 5 shows a week. But the way he does them, he records them.
Yeah.
No editing.
Right.
Because he just doesn't have that kind of time. All the he does a lot of prep work in what he does, though. I mean, he actually has to do show notes and That's a full time.
No, he's doing it the right way. He has specific guests on specific topics. He's got a lot of supporters through Patreon and donations that amount to probably thousands of dollars. It's not a lot in the whole scheme of things, but it keeps him going.
But yeah, he doesn't even have time to edit video. He presses the start button on OBS, and when he's done recording, that's it. There's no rendering. There's nothing.
Right. No, I like watching his stuff. He seems like a nice guy, even when he said that dual booting is for schmucks.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I'm just kidding. But
he puts a lot of, but like you said, he
Yeah.
has a lot of prep on his stuff.
Oh yeah, I've conversed with him a couple of times. He's a really good guy though.
Yeah, he seems like a genuine. It's
He was just at
Linux Fest. Yeah. Linux
it's
Fest,
one thing in the upper Midwest in Minnesota. Unless I don't know if I would go to one of these things, but it'd be interesting to see one in my lifetime.
Yeah.
That's one thing that there isn't a lot of up here in this neck of the woods. Very
Pittsburgh,
little.
I don't think there's any. There's one in Columbus, not too far from here. Pittsburgh's about 30 minutes from here, but I don't recall. Last year, speaking of Pittsburgh, I missed it. But I wanted to tell you, Tim, and I can tell you too, DT. There's a lady, Barbara Aiello. She's an Italian Jewish Italian rabbi, very rare, I think, but she lives, I think, in Italy, and she came Pittsburgh in October to do a press conference or something. And the public was invited. I missed it, and I was so mad because she was a consultant on my dad's film. I saw the credits. I saw her name, but I was like, "Dang!" And I caught it like too late, But maybe next time. But she's an Italian rabbi, and she talks about Italian Jewish cultures and how they intersect. And she talked about that concentration camp, about Ferramonte, and how it was an important piece of history that very few people know about. But yeah, it's.
I see Gregory Lock said, "I wish there was a Linux club around here, but there isn't." I wonder that. There's technical clubs kind of all over the place, dealing with, enthusiasts, I guess you could call them, kind of like car clubs would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's surprising, even though, 1 or 3%, whatever you want to believe as far as Linux market share, there aren't that many people driving Ferraris around, Lamborghinis, but they manage to have an enthusiast club.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Kind of surprising that there isn't more of a national infrastructure of Linux type clubs, because there are computing clubs around. I've seen them before.
Yeah. They seem to be in the major markets as far as Linux goes. Lamer asked, you're asking me, Lamer, do you got a webcam that you recommend that I can support your channel? Are you asking what kind of webcam that I use? I use Logitech cameras, if that's what the question is. Lamer, I'm not sure I understand. The webcam recommend that I can support your channel.
Yeah, he might have some autocorrect going on, maybe some of those words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're asking what, and I think DT uses a couple Logitechs, don't you?
Yeah, I use a Logitech 922.
Okay. Yeah.
Which it cost me, I don't know, 110
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah.
So it's a good cam. I mean, it's a webcam, but it's a high-end webcam.
Yeah.
It does what I need it to do.
Mm-hmm.
I use whatever the laptop has.
Yeah.
Do I have the webcam on my Amazon link? Yeah, go to I did post all the links below in the show notes. I didn't do it this morning. I was lazy. But if you go below in the show notes, Lamer, there should be a link there for the Total OS Today Amazon link. I'm an influencer on Amazon. Ooh. Micro-influencer, I think they call us. Anyway, yeah, I think that webcam should be there. One of them, or maybe even both of them. So check that one out, Lamer, yeah. The local computer shop told you that Linux Club disbanded, Gregory? Where? I haven't. Well, I guess if it's not a big one, I guess it's possible.
That's one thing you don't see too much anymore either. Independent computer stores now that the Geek Squad and the like are around.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Is if you want to get together with some nerds that know a little bit about Linux, probably Best Buy and the Geek Squad, just go hang out with those guys. I've actually brought computers to them to fix, that had like Ubuntu or whatever installed, and they actually knew what it was when it booted up. So.
Wow. I don't buy from any of the big box guys. The stuff that I own is all, I bought it. I don't know if I can do a plug on here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I use Micro Center. There's not a lot of them around, but every time I go in, they're very, very upfront with what they've got in the store. Their inventory on their website is actually on, because like the laptop I've got right now in front of me, it fit what I needed to do, and they only had 2 of them in stock. And I can't remember if I called or not before I went to pick it up, but their inventory is always straight on. And one of the guys at the counter said, well, it's all right, all ready to go, Windows 10, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So when I got it home, I didn't even boot it into Windows 10. My jump drive went in it right away. And I told him that, and he says, oh, what are you going to install? And told him, I said, I'm kind of up in the air, but this to get it up and running, and this to learn the hardware. I'm just going to throw Linux Mint on it.
Yeah.
He said, good choice. So
very good.
And he was a sales guy. I don't think he was one of the tech guys. He was actually a sales guy.
Lamer, try that link. That link has both cameras that I have, and believe it or not, this camera now that's okay. You can get it right now on Amazon for just $27. It's not too bad, is it? Yeah. So, but I even have the other one. DT's got the 9 something. That's what I have, something like that. But anyway, try that link.
Yeah, more important than what we do. For what we do is more important than the webcam, because it's not important to see us. More important is the audio. You guys that are gonna do anything, you do your own channel. First thing is get audio squared away. If nobody can hear you, they're not gonna watch your video.
Yeah.
Isn't the video side more? The audio side for stuff that we're doing right now, the conversational piece, like what Toss was doing earlier with his Brasero fix, and Derek, when you're doing the distro reviews, you almost have to have decent video running, right?
Well, you want good quality video all the time. You want excellent good quality. You don't necessarily need excellent video. I mean, webcam video. Or like, I don't need 4K for this.
I cheat a little bit on a lot of my stuff, Tim, because I'm not recording the webcam. I'm recording my desktop a lot of times on the distro reviews. So the camera has nothing to do with that. Simple screen recorder or OBS or whatever is going to record the desktop perfect.
That video should be just about like as far as the webcam, as long as you can see me.
Yeah, as long as I'm there, and it doesn't matter if that's garbage quality. It's the audio when I'm talking through.
Yeah, this is good enough. I mean, I wouldn't go lower than this in terms of quality.
Yeah.
But one of the secrets to a cheap webcam to improve it is use lots of lighting. I only have the one light here, but if I had one more, it would look even better. But for this, it's now if I was going to do like on location.
Yeah, if we were outdoors, we would need much.
You want a Canon Rebel, like between
or what is that?
Yeah, I mean the prices have dropped, but figure between $600 to $1,000 for something decent, something good. Yeah,
those YouTubers you see like out on the street, with really crystal clear pictures. I mean, they're running around with $1,200 cameras.
Yeah,
and that's,
sometimes you catch them on sale for less than $1,000. The Panasonic makes it go.
And then they've got multiple lenses depending on what they're doing. I mean, it's
a whole science behind that. It's. I mean, I don't know all of it, but a good. I think my cousin got a Canon Rebel. I think that's what they call it. DT Canon Rebel.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What's the
smaller one? Yeah. I'm guessing probably about $500-600, which is fine. She's in college now, so. Now for something like that, Tim, that would probably be best outside. Although I have, for outside, I was doing a lot of I haven't done it in a while, but I'll show you this. For a while, I was doing my car vlogs, where I did a vlog in the car, like you may have seen, and they're crystal clear. I used the old flip cam. Remember this?
Oh, you're kidding me.
I used the old flip cam. I bought this for less than $100. I think I bought
2006.
Oh, something like that. I've had this now, I don't know, 5 years. It's full 1080p video and audio, and believe it or not, this looks cheap, but the secret to this is to have a lot of natural lighting, and it is excellent. Excellent. Now you see my videos in the car probably. It's this one. I got it on a mount, just I hit the record button here, just the one dummy-proof button, red. Hit that, mount it on a thing. The light comes on here. I know I'm on, and I talk and drive. I keep it short.
Yep.
But that's what I use in the car, a sub-$100 camera. But lots of lighting, that's the key.
And honestly, outdoors, if you're on a budget getting started, you know what, your cell phone camera does pretty good.
Yeah, some cell phone cameras, yeah. If you have enough lighting, that's the key. When you have low lighting, that's when the higher-end cameras, you know, with the special lenses and all that, and then they have the lighting hookup on the top. But getting back to the point, yeah, I mean, you want your tutorial video presentation to be as excellent as possible. This webcam thing doesn't have to be, you know, 4K or anything, you know.
Hey, Gregory Locke, not to break the conversation up here. Gregory Locke threw a question up asking, do you guys test your ISO download signature files?
I check the MD5. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you do, Derek?
I don't bother most of the time because I download most of them. I install them in VMs. So, like the stuff I do on my physical hardware, I'll check the MD5.
I think I might know where Greg is coming up with this. Remember what was like a year and a half ago? I can't remember if it was with Mint 17 or if it was one of the 18 series.
Mm-hmm.
Linux Mint. Somebody got into their website and put up unauthenticated ISO files and whatnot.
Okay.
I don't know if he's asking because of that, but you know, I
don't remember that, but that's interesting.
I did a Mint install here. Oh, geez, a couple of weeks ago, and I had like 18.1 on a flash drive.
Yeah.
So if I had something to install, I would just install 18.1 and then just run all the updates, and of course you're up to whatever 18.3 that it's at. But I went to download the Cinnamon ISO for 18.3, and at the bottom of the page, it had the text file with the hash sums in it,
right?
And it also had the signature, and then it said, and then they had a blurb that said, "Hey, don't forget to verify your hash signatures," and they push that.
Yeah.
You know, it's real evident on their website that they recommend you.
It makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And if I install it on my machines, I will check it out. To test like DT, nah, I don't need to. You know?
Because I mean, if something malicious gets installed in my VM, you know, I'm wiping it. I'm wiping it anyway. I mean, it's
so maybe that's a good question or a good answer for Greg. I say this says I have this Interrogos minimal 18.5 x86 ISO sig. Yeah, the only thing that file is for is to compare the signature from where your hashtags came from.
Yeah, I mean it's a good idea to compare them. Even though, like I said, I don't bother with it most of the time. Yeah, I would recommend everybody else to do it, especially if you're installing on real hardware. Yeah, definitely.
For me, if I download something off of a distro's website, and as long as it's a HTTPS site, I tend to not really concern myself. I just grab the MD5 or the 256.
That's what I do. Yep. I don't want to install something, not checking it, then there's bugs in it or didn't install, then it go over and over again. That's very annoying. So check it first, get that out of the way, and move on. You know. Today I was installing.
What do you do, Tosh? You just check it in the command line, your MD5?
Yeah, and Linux MD5 MD5 or SHA 2256. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Space.
Or SHA. Yeah.
SHA. Yeah. Then in Windows, I download WinMD5 free or something graphical and do that. But yeah, I check it. Now today I did make a mistake. I reinstalled Ubuntu again just to test for later on. But it came up with the installer kept crashing. I'm like, well, the MD5 is okay. What had happened was I was using the same USB stick to install and erase multiple ISOs.
USB stick was failing on you?
It wasn't failing, but what I did was I originally had Peppermint ISO on the USB stick. I installed Ubuntu on the same ISO without formatting it first, then installing it.
Gotcha.
And it caused an error. So what I did, I popped in the stick, I formatted it using disks, software in Linux. Once it cleared it out and there was nothing on there, Then I created the new bootable stick with Ubuntu, installed, no problem. But I was thinking, what have I done differently? And that's what it was.
Didn't format the drive.
Yeah, now sometimes you may not have a problem. You can just install one ISO over the other one to erase it.
Yeah.
But for something, right, yeah.
It depends on the program, yeah.
Yeah, some utilities will do that. Like for me, if I download something to give it a test drive,
yeah.
Like right now I'm running Ubuntu, I'll actually go to the Linux Mint to their packages page, and I'll download the I forgot what they call it. It's a two-piece accessory. One of them is a formatter. The other one is a writer.
Yeah, it's called USB formatter and USB writer. Yeah, it's two different ones. Yeah,
it's the Mint Stick package, I think is what they call them.
Gregory says, have you tried G Smart Control? I don't know what that is, Gregory.
Yeah, I haven't tried that either.
What is it?
Go ahead.
One thing in closing. If for me checking the MD5 or the 256, I don't like using the command line at this. I try to stay out of the command line as much as I can.
What do you use?
I use GTK hash. You can grab it out of the repositories.
And I actually expected Toss to answer. I actually expect, and that's why I asked Toss, because I didn't expect him to do it in the terminal. I thought maybe he was using an app is the reason I had asked.
You know what? Because, for newbies, I tend to not recommend, but, because it's so simple. Just type in ND5.
Yeah, because
drag the ISO. There's no special codes to type. It's just
because I would never install a separate app just to do something like that. But I know some people prefer it that way.
What's that one called? GTK hash?
Yeah,
what it's called? Okay.
GTK hash. Yeah, you can grab it.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
Hey, you guys burning USB sticks all the time.
I have that already. How come I can't bring it up then? What am I missing?
What do you run? What distro are you on right now?
I got Ubuntu Mate. I have Kaja GTK hash. I have GTK hash.
Does Mate run on Wayland?
I don't run it on Wayland. No.
Okay, because some of these GTK apps, I've found that if you install them using Synaptic or the command line, if you're in Ubuntu when they were using Wayland, they wouldn't work. Even like GDebi package manager wouldn't work. So
I'm trying to think. Let me right click on it, see if it comes up. Yeah, how do you check it in Linux? How does that work? How does it work? Do you just right click the ISO to check it, or?
No, it actually puts there's actually an app. It should be in the accessories area.
Oh, I see. Let me see.
Look. Mate, I think it's accessories.
All right, let me try. I don't have it. Huh. Let me type it.
You might can launch it from the terminal, see if it launches for you.
Let me try that. I don't know. But here we go back to the terminal again.
Yeah, that's where I go to. So,
if I gotta do that, I might as well just drive. But let me try. Because now I'm curious.
It'll spit out errors if it doesn't launch it. Give you an idea of what's going on.
It's in the terminal. Right. If I type it in the terminal, that brings it, but it's not on the menu, huh?
Really, it's kind of strange.
You can create a shortcut, but I forget how to do it off the top of my head.
You have to create a .desktop file.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But if I type it in the terminal, you can just drag it in. Anyway, and it comes up MD5 SHA-1. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of unfriendly though doing it that way. Not that it's that big of a deal, but come on, Marty.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. Have y'all ever used the USB writer called Etcher?
Yes, once, twice. I tested. It's not bad.
It's not bad. Because I noticed you were talking about having to format the stick or whatever on Etcher. You just plug the stick in, you tell it what ISO to burn, and it just takes care of everything for you.
I've had super good luck with UNet booting. That's all that I use exclusively. It's just
there's one problem with UNet booting. It doesn't work on some distros. As far as it won't burn. Like I'm running Manjaro, you cannot burn a live USB of Manjaro using UNet booting. It won't work. I don't know why. Certain distros, Arch-based distros, UNet booting doesn't work.
I've ran into problems with UNet booting, same distro, two different machines.
Yeah.
It'll work okay on one machine.
Now Debian and Ubuntu, UNet booting is great, but some of the other distros not so great.
Maybe that's all because I mainly use it for that. Okay, maybe that's why I don't really have that much of an issue.
Etcher is great on all the Linux
all
distros,
of them,
but you can't do Windows on Etcher. So, but I don't do Windows, but TOS does, so that may be a problem.
Well, I think Ubuntu, you can, if you have nothing downloaded, I believe at the top, DT, can't you just download a distro from Ubuntu and then?
Yeah, they have some pre-configured. You just tell them what you're trying to burn.
Yeah, which makes it look extremely newbie friendly. So that's what I recommend. Yeah.
What do you burn? What do you burn your ISOs on Windows, TOS?
Trying to think, what did I use last time? It may have been a USB stick.
No, he's asking the program.
Yeah.
Oh, the program. Oh, sorry.
But that's cool that you didn't use a CD.
Yeah. No, I would have had to use 4 of them.
Live CDs still.
Well, 4 of them, I think.
I actually do have some live DVDs.
I don't know. It's been so long. But I don't boot into Windows as much as I used to. I mean, I have to once a week for the updates, you know. But as far as what I use now, it's Ubuntu, yeah.
I remember a few years ago, I had been using Zorin OS, and it was the last version before they went to the GNOME shell. I think it was like 12 or something. Really good desktop. Good desktop. Used it for a while, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to throw these guys a few bucks.
Sure.
So I downloaded paid and downloaded the ultimate version. And I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be fun. Well, the machine that I was trying to install it on, I tried burning it to a stick multiple times, and I couldn't get it to work. Finally, I sent an email in, or I posted on the forum. They said, if you're having problems with that every so often, hardware specific, this, that, and everything else, you'll have to burn a DVD, right? I'm in Minnesota. It's the middle of January. Snow is coming down at a clip of like 2.5 inches per hour. I looked out the window. I went, okay, I got a choice to make. Am I going to get in the car and am I going to drive in this weather? Because I had no DVDs left in the house. None. Zero.
Wow.
I thought, I wonder if I should even think about doing it. And I thought, I tried to get myself to explain to myself, you should really go and do it tonight, because by tomorrow, all the snow is going to get that much worse. Excuse me. It's going to be a couple of days before you get a DVD. So stupidly, I drove in a blizzard to get a DVD to burn Zorin Ultimate on, and ran it for about 6 months, and then I moved on to something else.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a bit drastic there, but hey, if it's in your blood. Somebody called you not booting.
A couple of guys in the chat mentioned, the most popular burning software on Windows seems to be Rufus.
Rufus?
Yeah.
I may have not. You know what? I may have used ISO burn or ISO image or something.
Yeah, there is one called.
It's been a while.
It might be ISO burn. Yeah, it's been many years.
Maybe it was that one. Yeah, it was the one you know what it was? It was the one Microsoft recommended. Whatever it was, that's the one I used.
No, I wouldn't use that one. The one that
Really?
Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
Microsoft recommend.
Yeah. All I can say is it worked. If that's the one I think I used, it worked. So.
So they must own that one.
No.
I don't know. All I know is I did it. I didn't have any issues on multiple machines.
Yeah, I haven't used Windows in so long, so I don't really know anything about Rufus. I've heard a lot about it. Maybe the guys in the chat can tell us, is it free and open source software, or is it proprietary garbage? So.
Let's see.
I think I know the answer, though.
Yeah. Etcher was a POS.
You know, Etcher, the problem with Etcher, it gets a lot of hate, is because it is an Electron app.
Okay.
So.
Not
everybody likes Electron for some reason.
Okay. Rosa Image Writer, Mark? Okay. Have I heard of that? I don't think I've heard of that.
I'm assuming it's on the distro Rosa, the Russian distro.
Okay.
Probably what he's talking about.
Okay.
That's another one that gets a lot of hate because it's Russian, the Rosa distro.
Oh, it is Russian.
Yeah, it really is a Russian distro, yeah.
Wow. Rosa. And they gave it an Italian name.
Yeah.
What does Rosa translate to roughly in Italian?
Rosa.
Isn't that red?
Rosa is roughly, sometimes rose, rosa. Nothing really specific. Yeah, I guess you could say red, yeah. Yeah, in Italian I'll say russo, red, like slang. But yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah. Just funny they gave that name to the Russian one. We will create distro called Rosa, because it sounds not Russian, comrade. Anyway.
Pretty nice distro, other than
Is
it uses the KDE desktop environment, unfortunately. But.
So anybody else here had issues burning CDs in Linux? Just out because that's what the topic was. Just curiosity.
Boy, Tux, Rufus is GPL. Okay, I can use it.
Does anybody burn CDs? Do you know what they are? They look like this. They're in the case. That's what they look like, okay?
Yeah, looks like a coaster.
Yeah, a coaster.
Did you see that case? He bought that case in 2003.
Yeah, actually, the stack I had.
It's half used.
I literally have some of these CDs and DVDs in that stack. I know I had when I was in graduate school, and that had to have been 2004, 2005. That's how old some of those. I still haven't burned through that entire
They're indestructible.
Stack. Yeah.
Well, this is 2005 with the CDRW. That was the storage. It worked. I used it to test it. You make audio CDs, Gregory, log, but you don't do it like I do it. Well, how do you do it? In Windows. Yeah, like I said, I don't burn too many. Every once in a while, make a playlist, pop it in the car, and that's why I was using it now. So, otherwise, no big deal. Peppermint is a great distro, by the way, Steve. I really like it.
It's solid. Yeah.
I mean, it not flash, but it looks great. That's the one I installed in my ThinkPad with less than a gig of RAM to stream that one night. Actually, 2 nights. It's really nice. Very polished. I like it a lot. Yeah. I use XF burn, and you don't care about CD text. Okay. All right, that'll work.
I mean, English Bob and Zeb, those guys have almost convinced me to put Peppermint on a machine before because they preach about it so much. I've never pulled the trigger and actually put it on. But.
You know, DT, what because I have that one 2 machines. It's simple out of the box, but it's configurable. It's got a couple, control center panel settings. I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's got the new mix theme if you want it. There's a whole bunch of choices for theming. It looks simple, but it looks modern. So yeah, I mean, if you've tested, then you know what it's like. But I really like it.
You know, Keegan the Tennessean, we were just talking about Rosa. He did a post, had a foreign language of some type, and I asked him what that was, and he said, that's the, I can't pronounce that. Russian Federation of some type.
Rossika Federistika Russian Federation.
Yeah, there's 2 Linux distros that get a lot of hate because of their country of origin. Rosa is one, and Deepin is the other because it's Chinese. They assume because they're Russian and Chinese that the Russian government and the Chinese government have probably installed spyware on these things, even though they're completely open source projects. But, there is some kind of prejudice against those distros. So they get a lot of hate in the community.
It was the fallout from the Deepin thing that QuidsUp put out
spyware.
Here a while ago. Yeah, the spyware thing. Is there still fallout happening from that?
Well, the QuidsUp thing, it was kind of a little over the top with the sensationalism. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. The Deepin web store is basically a website. Like most websites, it sends web analytics to certain places, and Google's most websites do, but in this case it was sending it to some other company in China, some web analytics company. It wasn't anything that out of the ordinary, really,
and it wasn't nothing malicious whatsoever.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
Sensationalism got the best of it.
Well, right. I suppose the whole web is freaking spyware.
Right. Anything you do on the internet, somebody's getting that information. That's the problem. Yeah. So, so their web store is basically a front end to a website, of course. So,
I've joked all websites should start with www.spyware.totalOS today or whatever. That's what it should be, because eventually that's where it goes to.
You know, this is one thing we were talking about communities the other night. Steve Winkler that said he went through some issues that were not peppermint related, and he still got some great help. I'm guessing that had to have been from the forums.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peppermint, to me, is consistently across the board. When I go and look at their forums, they are consistently probably one of the most helpful.
Nice.
I'm not trying to take away from anybody else by any means, but they're always that good. And I would love to run Peppermint. The problem is we had discussed the other night, the whole 2-monitor setup for me. I like having that static second monitor, and I can't get it to work in any other desktop except GNOME and Pantheon with Elementary works the way that I like it.
So have you posted in their forum just to see if it's fixable or just one of those things, or I don't know.
You know, I posted it in an MX forum right after 17 came out, which I think was like last summer or fall. And some guys came across and gave me a couple of answers. And one of them was just simply right-clicking on a window and saying "show on all desktops," which it's a reasonable workaround. But it's kind of like, you know, I like that static second monitor. So I don't know. Peppermint is a heck of a good distro. I've booted it a few times. I've had it in a virtual machine and played around with it for a day or two.
Yeah, I've checked it out in a VM. It looks good. Yeah.
No hiccup whatsoever.
I'm sure the community is great. I haven't actually looked at their forums, but that's great that they have a good community. I've noticed most Linux communities are good. There's really, you know, at some time or another, I've checked out a lot of the forums of the major distros. There's really only a handful that have just a strange attitude about them. There's some that I think it starts from the very top. The people that are the admins of those forums, they let this attitude, this thing fester in some of these forums. Two come to mind in particular.
One of the things I like about Pop OS, you know, when I have to go through and do another machine buy, I'm gonna go System 76, and their distro, you know, it's GNOME, and for me, I just happen to be one of those guys where GNOME works for me. I like it, but they actually don't use a forum whatsoever. They simply use Reddit. That's it. They don't have a dedicated forum for System 76, and they just use Reddit, and it's one of the more friendly ones. It's pretty good.
Yeah, something like Reddit's nice because you can upvote and downvote comments, and that's something you can't do on a normal forum.
Elementary uses the Stack Exchange.
Yeah, Stack Exchanges are nice too because of that same reason. You can upvote the ones that deserve it. Yeah.
Yep. Brian Lunduke said you need a good community. If you don't have that,
yeah. Well, this is a community, Gregory. So, look, if it all comes down to the human being, it really does. So we can talk about technology all day, but if people don't get along, then who cares, right?
And I will say this: probably my two favorite distros have two of the worst forums that you can possibly be on. But the people that are on those forums, they are not that distro. They are not the main developers of that distro. They are not the community really behind it. They're just those guys that happen to be running those forums. So don't judge, a couple of jackasses basically as being the whole. So
Yep. I've asked questions on Ask Ubuntu before, and I'll be honest, some of the questions I've asked are kind of, to guys like you, Derek, they're probably like, well, duh. But I've asked them this for the sake of asking them because I couldn't find a good answer that made sense to me. And I kind of got into it with the guy, and I said, hey, I found answers kind of like this, but the way I was reading them didn't make sense particularly to me. Yeah. And I think that's part of it too, because you could take a technical question from anybody, and you could go and find the right solution for the problem. But if it doesn't make sense the way that it's put to me, I may as well be reading an Egyptian for that matter. And sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes things get lost in translation.
And some of these distros get, so wrapped up with their documentation. Like the Arch Wiki is so fantastic that the only answer is in the Arch Wiki, and that nobody could possibly misread it, misinterpret it.
Yeah.
Even the Arch installation guide, which is the only way to install Arch. If you tell somebody you installed Arch any other way other than reading that page, they're basically going to kick you off the forum. But you know what? I've read the Arch installation guide, done a few Arch installs, and I have problems with that installation guide. There are certain things that I would not have worded the way they did. There's certain steps in the process that I think are out of order. But you know what? I'm not going to go to the Arch forums and tell them that because I know what kind of response I'm going to get. So
right.
Yeah.
Gregory Locke posted something. He says they don't like him on the forums because his username is, I don't know if you can read that, but
trying to learn Linux with ADD.
Attention Deficit Disorder.
Yeah.
And I wrote, you made me smile.
Gregory, I am diagnosed with adult ADHD, and you know what?
You know what though? I have a joke. It's not my personal joke, but it's one of my friends. But I'll use it. He'll say and I say, because I've distro hopped so much. I don't suffer from ADD. I suffer from attention surplus syndrome, ASS. That's attention surplus. Right. I don't hop as much as I used to, but it's the opposite of ADD. I suffer from ASS.
I'm 47. I didn't get diagnosed with it until I was 44.
Oh, really? Wow.
And you know what? I do not promote this idea. If you have a condition, talk to your doctor. Take whatever your doctor feels is right for you. Myself, I made the decision that I wasn't going to take anything, and it's kind of served me okay. I mean,
cool.
It's kind of good. Now, if I was still in the professional world, which I came out of about 1.5 years ago, if I was still in the professional world, I would maybe do something different. But
yeah,
you know what? Do what you have to. Do what works, right, Derek?
Yeah, do what works.
Yep. No one's perfect. No, you mean I was reading up something years ago on the late great Bruce Lee, and even though he looked perfect on screen, his body and how he, but I guess his right leg was 1 inch shorter than his left. I didn't know that.
That's not that uncommon with most people. I mean, when they measure your
and he wore glasses. So I mean, not on screen, but he wore glasses too. So I mean, even though he physically, I thought he was a perfect specimen, but he wasn't perfect in the terms of perfection. But yeah,
it's real bad. The people that have 1 foot a little bigger than the other, like big enough that you need a different size shoe. Because now you have to hope that the store will sell you a mismated pair of shoes. I need a 7 on 1 foot and a 7 or whatever.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. Yeah,
you end up having to go somewhere like an outlet mall. You would think, where they've got the last year's models that they weren't able to sell.
It's actually pretty common. Yeah. Nobody's actually perfectly symmetrical. I mean, it's.
I don't know. I have trouble finding shoes. I have a wide. I got to find a 3E or a 4E width. They're hard to find,
Yeah.
But I usually have good luck with New Balance. There's a plug for New Balance. So
cool.
Well, that's cool that we haven't talked about food yet tonight.
No mate and meatballs tonight. No.
What? Okay, so it was Mother's Day today.
Yeah.
Were we all able to see our mothers? I wasn't because my mother is sorely no longer with us. But
I took my son out to dinner. My mother didn't want to go anywhere today. She wanted to go shopping for flowers or soil or something. I said, Ma, it's closed today. It's Sunday. She said, oh, yeah, but I'll take her tomorrow. So what did you do, Derek?
Yeah, I had to work pretty much all day, but I was able to get off this evening and see her for about an hour. So
that's cool.
I actually took off work about an hour early just to make a special trip for that. Otherwise, I might not have been able to do anything.
Mother's Day is a little bit different around my place because my wife and I have a blended family, but my wife doesn't have any children of her own. She just has mine. So we actually celebrated Mother's Day with a close family of ours, close friends.
Yeah.
And I went to an awesome restaurant. I ate a what was it? 36 ounce porterhouse steak.
Huh. Nice. Nice.
And when I got home, I felt like hell.
I bet.
Well, duh.
I try to eat healthy throughout the week, so Sundays are kind of the deals where I kind of just do whatever tastes good.
I want to tell everybody in the chat. I'm going to wrap this up at 12:30, so we'll make this the last call for comments or questions.
Yeah, last call for alcohol.
Last call for alcohol. I have my Powerade for tonight, and that's it. I'm going to go to bed. So, Steve, you made filet mignon on the grill over coal and hickory. Oh, man, that sounds so good. You're killing me now, man. That sounds really good. Yeah. Ooh. I like calamari. Sauteed calamari, you can't beat it. Forget about it. But,
there's the other downside I've got. My wife will not eat seafood.
Really?
No.
Oh.
We go to a sushi place that's close to us, and it's cool because she can get a hibachi, which is this essentially stir-fried stuff, and she can do that. But no, I'll order, I'll order sushi, and she'll just sit there and look at me like.
Not for her, huh?
No.
Oh, I love sushi. Yeah, she's missing out, man.
One of these days.
She's evidently not Italian, right?
No, both my wife and I are. She's 100%. Well, she's probably like about 85% Norwegian.
Oh.
And I'm. What am I? I'm kind of a mutt. I'm better than half Swedish. So we're both
Swedish.
So both of us are kind of a little bit challenged,
Swedish.
I guess.
So your name isn't Sven or something,
No,
Oh, okay.
No. My my family name, coming down through both sides of my family, one side is Brown, so I do have some Irish in me. The other side was Martinson.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yep.
And before we close the stream toss, I did want to get your thoughts on something.
Go ahead.
Big news this week. You know what is number one in DistroWatch page hit rankings right now?
It's probably Manjaro or Linux Mint. Okay.
No, it's Manjaro.
Well, I know Mint is up there, but okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think about that?
I don't buy it.
Well, nobody buys it. I mean,
Right.
it's all rigged. But big news. A lot of people are talking about it. So.
It's on that list, and it's at the top for a reason because of the interest in it. I haven't had good luck with Manjaro in the past. That's why I don't use it. And it's a rolling distribution still, right, based off of Arch.
Yeah.
So I generally don't recommend it for beginners. I did see that, and I think DistroWatch to me in general has always been somewhat of a guide, a destination to find out about different distros, what's trending. But really, where is the scientific statistical analysis to say these are the top? Where? It ain't there. Now, Ubuntu's been around a long time. It was popular then. It's popular now. It's helped a lot of people, including myself and maybe you, introduce us to the world of Linux. I would believe Ubuntu being at the top.
Well, Ubuntu probably has 10 times the user base of Manjaro and Mint put together.
Right.
But it's below both of them. So.
The thing is that Manjaro, with Ubuntu, you have Ubuntu mainstream, and then you got Tassa's favorite, you got the Mate, and then you got Budgie, you've got Kubuntu, Xubuntu, Lubuntu. You take all of those on DistroWatch, and this I added them up, and they hands down eclipse. If you took all of the flavors and added them up, they would eclipse Manjaro. Now, Manjaro would be interesting to me because Manjaro has they have like 2 or 3 official releases.
They have three. They have 3 main editions, and then they have like 10 community editions on it.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of different ones. Yeah.
So if you take Manjaro and they've got say 10 different flavors, and they're at number 1 on DistroWatch.
Manjaro. I think Manjaro was one of the first to make Arch more user-friendly, more mainstream. So I give them credit.
Definitely, yeah.
Maybe that's why they're at the top, as it were. But you're right. I've joked in the past. We're talking about the heads of the 5 Linux families. We got Don Mate, Don Ubuntu, Python, Arch, But no, you're right. Ubuntu is, in a way, a big territorial family because there's Ubuntu, Lubuntu, Ubuntu Mate. That's a lot of users coming from that, family.
I mean, it is very possible that out of that top 100 list, Ubuntu probably has more users than the other 99 combined. It's very possible. I mean, in real life.
If you went off a distro watch, very easy. Yeah.
So I don't even know why they have that on their page. They should just take that. It would be. I think they would gain a lot more respect, distro watch, if they would just take that, because the distro release announcements and all that other content's great, but they need to take the page hit rankings down.
Gregory, I'm the distro father. I'm not the godfather. I'm the distro father.
Which reminds me, I actually have. I was looking at Netflix earlier today, and I found a series called Inside the American Mafia.
Oh,
6-part series, and
nice.
One of the episodes caught my eye because it's Donnie Brasco.
Okay.
Special Agent Joseph Pistone, and I actually read one of the books, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to watch that. So as soon as I'm done with this,
that's a good movie. When my dad flew in last year, I think he worked on that movie. Had a bit part, had some photographs. He met the actual cop. That movie's based. It's based off a true story, right? I think, not mistaken.
Yep.
And he was talking about the guy. It's an interesting story, but that's it. I haven't seen it, to be honest. But
you haven't seen? Have you seen the Al Pacino movie with Al Pacino and Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp.
Yeah. No, the one I liked was Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in the movie Heat. Right? I think it was called Heat.
You got to watch Donnie Brasco with Al Pacino.
I haven't seen it. My dad says it's a good movie. I haven't. I've seen a lot of them, obviously.
You do all these Al Pacino impersonations, and you haven't seen one of the best.
Don Corleone. I don't do Al Pacino. Okay. I mean, I do Scarface.
You do
Say hello to my little friend. Okay.
Hey, another good movie with Pacino and De Niro in it is called Righteous Kill.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. It's not bad.
Yeah. Never go wrong with
that
those
one.
It's pretty recent, like in the last 10 years. It's not an old movie. Yeah.
There was one I liked that was more of a smaller movie, independent, that Robert De Niro did. That's called The Bronx Tale. Yeah, I enjoyed. That was that may have been based on a true story too, but that was a good movie. Yeah, A Bronx Tale.
Cool.
All right, so half of these shows in the top 100 are based on Ubuntu and are basically just themed versions of Ubuntu. It seems that way.
Well, that's always been one of my complaints. Is most of these distros just need to go away. Most of them serve no real purpose. A lot of it is duplicated effort. How many versions of Ubuntu do we need that all use the KDE desktop environment?
Yeah.
Can some of these groups just get together and work on one thing?
Sure,
we talked about Ubuntu. I had deleted it, but I thought, you know what? I installed it again because number one, it's not on my main machine. It's on my testing machine, but I installed it because, you know what? It is polished. It looks nice. It looks stable. It's still on my favorite desktop environment, but it looks nice. It looks like a modern operating system. So I thought, why not? I'll keep it in there and see what happens down the road. Maybe I'll test some apps in there and see how it goes. But it looks nice. It looks different.
Yeah.
Out of the box, and it works. So why not?
Keegan the Tennessean that said, "What distro does Uncle Guido use?"
Knockoff
OS.
He uses knockoff OS, but keep it within the family, okay? No, what's his name? EB Steve says I should have Wise Guy OS.
Yeah,
I could have a wallpaper of the horse, and all that, but or Godfather OS, yeah.
What would a Swedish guy do for an OS? Dum OS. It would have to be something like that.
No, but what's famous in Sweden? Snow, cheese, or that's
cheese.
Switzerland. That's Switzerland. Swiss cheese.
Switzerland.
Okay. Yeah.
The only thing that I know of that has come out of Sweden that I follow in any way, shape, or form, is automotive related.
Okay.
And
okay.
I don't know if Switzerland is. I don't know.
Swiss banks.
Or I'm sorry, Sweden. I don't know what else out of Sweden would be.
Snow, obviously. Viking OS. Okay. Viking
No,
OS.
Vikings came out of Norway, didn't they?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Death metal. That's
Death metal.
Death metal.
yeah, he's right. Swedish.
There we
death
go. What's up, Metal Lord? Madhouse Jag, Death Metal. Yeah, right. Years ago, I don't know, Tim, you might know, but there was right when the Catholic Church and the controversy, with the pedophiles and all that stuff came out.
Yep.
A congressman, I think, compared the Catholic Church to the mafia organization, and I thought, I'm Italian. I was offended. I'm Italian and I'm a Catholic. There was no need to insult the mafia.
Yeah.
Really, there was no need for it, because they have a code. You touch the kids, you're out. You could touch the adults, but you don't touch the kids. But the church switched it. So who's worse?
Yep.
Right?
My dad and his wife went to a Catholic church, and when all of that stuff came out, they were heartbroken. They really were. And
I became disillusioned a long time ago. I tell my friends, this may sound strange, I believe in the Bible, but people confuse religion with the Bible, or religions with the Bible. Not the same. I'm a big fan of the Bible. Absolutely read it. Try to live by it. It's great. I mean, the book of Proverbs is awesome.
It's a heck of a user's manual, that's for sure.
It's a great user's manual. I mean, the Ten Commandments aren't bad either,
Yep.
But you're right. But then you have the stuff that came out years ago. What's been going on? It's what, this is not. And we talked about this briefly. So and so saved us. That's why he or she is president. Have you heard of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
To save us. I mean, really, come on.
So I think you or Derek had made a comment here a little bit earlier. Nobody's perfect. My comment back to it was the only perfect guy I've heard of lived 2,000 years ago. And
I remember watching Off the Grid with Jesse Ventura, and I think he's an atheist. I can't remember, but he talked about it. He says, well, the Ten Commandments actually sounds cool, sounds good. He says, you know what? I never met Jesus, but he sounded like a cool guy, and I would have to agree.
Yep.
Gregory, listen to audio Bible. Okay, all right.
I don't necessarily think that the Jesus in the Bible was all that perfect. He mentioned several times that
he was human.
You had the potential to be better than he was if you put in the effort.
Right. Yeah.
The problem is most Christians even don't put in the effort, even though they take up that moniker as being Christian.
He was the standard, as it were, But he also said, if I recall, that I think they had asked him to run for office or something, and he said, "My kingdom is not of this earth."
Right.
If I recall that saying. So when people go to politics and said God sent us him, no. People sent him or her or it or whatever, not Jesus. Gregory, non-denominational. Okay, all right. Yeah, I put people first and everything else second. So
I'd kind of be along Gregory's line. Churchgoer, believer, but denominational stuff, I don't have time for it.
Yeah. When I lived in Florida, I made friends with Jehovah's Witnesses. I call them affectionately the JWs. And they, when I went to they call it a Kingdom Hall. I felt comfortable there for some reason. When you walk into a Kingdom Hall, they don't have statues. There's none of this, grandiose thing or anything. They have these donation boxes that you can donate if you want anonymously. Then every Sunday there's a topic. They have like a bulletin board. And it was like, today's topic, what does the Bible say about marriage? Not what you say, what does the Bible say about marriage, or what does the Bible say about politics or anything? So I sat there, and some of these I'm like, this is really how it should be. It's non-threatening. You're not saying you didn't do it. It was almost like a college course. The priest would open let's go to page 249, and let's talk about the family or the politics. Non-threatening, very low-key. I kind of felt comfortable. Not that I switch religions or anything, but very comfortable with that because it made more sense out of all of them. Yep. It made a lot of sense, but anyway.
I almost became a pastor. I was going to a church, and kind of a funny story. The church was looking for a drummer for their worship team. My first wife signed me up when I was out of town on a business trip. And got home from my business trip. There's message on my office phone at home, and I was listening to it on speakerphone and got off the phone, and here she's standing in my office. And I looked at her. It was a pastor from the church saying, "Hey, practice is on whatever night, and love to see you." I turned around and looked at her, and I said, "Who in the hell is this guy? What in the hell did you sign me up for?"
Oh, wow.
And she said, "Tim, this seriously, go and do it." So I went to practice that week, and I played on the worship team for almost 5 years.
Cool.
And was asked if I wanted to take the job as youth pastor, but at that time, my wife, who is now my ex-wife, and I were going through some problems, and I went, you know what? I got to deal with personal stuff before I can do anything to lead other people, because I think I've made some mistakes, and I need to get those fixed before I would do anything.
Yeah,
so.
Sure.
Who knows? I may go back and do it. You never know.
There's a bunch of years ago. Somebody posted actual church blooper announcements that were on a bulletin board, and I remember some of them. One of them was, "Don't let worry kill you. Let the church help." Next weekend party, there will be an ice cream social. All ladies wishing to donate milk, please see Father John, or something like that. But if you look it up, actual church blooper announcements, they're hilarious.
You know what the difference between a Baptist and a Catholic is, don't you?
Mm-mm.
Catholic will say hi to you in a liquor store.
Ah, praise the Lord. Well, the wine and the bread, and all that. But okay.
No offense to anybody who goes to a Baptist church whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I grew up during my high school years and my 20s and into my 30s.
Well, my friend who was an elder, he was Jehovah's Witness, he had a wicked sense of humor, almost dirty sometimes. I'm like, man, I never would have guessed you to be a pastor. He says, Carm, I mean, the Bible doesn't say don't have fun or don't cut jokes,
Mm-hmm.
You remember the movie Gladiator that came out? You won an Academy Award. Well, one of my friends was religious, so he must have seen it like a dozen times. He wouldn't stop talking about it. So one day my pastor says, hey, your friends here are talking about Gladiator. Your friend Minus Erectus is here. I'll never forget it. That joke is like 18 years old. I'm still laughing at it, But that was him, a wicked sense of humor, Awesome. And we would banter back and forth, I called him his name, my friend's name I called him Flavius, And then I moved back. I went to see him back in 04 and 05. I visited down in Orlando. And he had a pet lizard in the back. He had a bust of Julius Caesar, in the backyard, understand? He had a pet lizard. So he said, come on, I want to drive to the pet. I want to buy a female pet lizard. I guess he had a male one, right? So he goes to the pet store. He had to buy special food. So he brings the pet home. He puts it in the back where the female is, and they shoot opposite ways. I said, great, you bought two gay lizards. Fantastic, but...
Wait, he bought a female lizard for the hope of having a lizard?
I guess that's how he was. He had a female or a male one before, whatever. He wanted to make kind of like a dating. And if I recall, they went opposite ways. Anyway. But he got married 10 years ago, and he still lives in Florida. He's got a couple great kids and great guy. And we used to banter back and forth all the time, making fun. He was a big fan of Miami Vice TV show and the soundtrack. So was I. He had a CD. I got the same CD. We used to play it in the car driving in Florida since we lived in Florida. Yep. But those were the days. And we seldom talked about religion back then. Seldom. We talked about movies and right when computers exploded and satellite dishes, and stuff like that.
Oh, did you see that, Derek?
What?
Jeff just said in the chat, there's a local brewery bar here recently had a church service in the bar and beer was served.
Yeah. Well, I've actually, at one time or another, I probably visited every kind of church and denomination possible from some of my music background, especially around Christmas and Easter. Mm-hmm. And, not all of them are so anti-alcohol.
I don't think Mark Zuckerberg's are lizard metal lord. Yeah, the lizard people and all that. Yeah, I don't think so. No.
I remember hanging out at this one, Catholic church where the priest would, take a little nip of whiskey every now and then out of a flask. He'd step outside. And,
Well, that's how he praised the Lord. What can I say?
Church I played for at a motorcycle rally once a year. In fact, this weekend, Mother's Day weekend, and we would get 1,500 or 2,000 bikes, and most of the guys that would come into that place, you would not picture them churchgoers.
Yeah,
you would not picture them churchgoers. Most friendliest people I've ever met, but. Yeah, so it would upset the neighbors, that's for sure.
I think mostly church, it's what's in your heart, more so a building,
Yep.
and what you do in life and what you can contribute to the common good,
Yep.
And do you have for your family or spouse, do you have unconditional love? Do you try to do the right thing? I mean, it's hard. It's hard because nobody's perfect. There are challenges in life, but ultimately, what do you. People have a sense of what's right or wrong. Even if that one day you did wrong for whatever reason, bad day, an argument, we have a sense of what's right or wrong. Sometimes we'll think about it later, till after the fact, after the damage is done. But I think most people have a sense of what's right or wrong. So anyway.
It's been an evening, that's for sure.
C128, my church is having a blessing of the bikes. It's coming. Yep. Why not?
That's what we called it at the church I went to.
Blessing of the bikes. Interesting. Okay. Well, everybody be safe at the blessing of the bikes.
Yeah. Nobody wants to lay down their bike. That's for sure.
I guess not. Anyway. All right. So I guess we don't have any more questions or comments. So I fixed Brasero. If you don't know what I did, too bad you have to replay the video because I'm going to go back and talk about it. But, yeah. So this was fun, guys. Always a pleasure. Anyway, we'll probably catch each other during the week or next weekend or whatever. So everybody in chat, welcome and goodbye as usual.
Carmine, I'll send you an email tomorrow. I'll have my schedule straightened out for this coming week, so you and I can talk.
Sounds good. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Derek.
Bye.